We are going to bring up our avatar and click, and we're going to get a female avatar here. We open avatar dialog box, click OK, that is, and there she appears in the 3D window. Now we can just go ahead and draw a simple bodice. So we're going to just get our pen tool, left click, just keep on left clicking here, one click, and here is the pattern. With the edit pattern tool selected, we're going to shape this a bit. This computer is a little slow today. Okay, so we left click on the point, we bring it in a bit, and well, we can bring this in here a little bit. We can bring this down here slightly, and then our edit curve tool, the edit arc for the lines here, we roughly curve it, and I think that's sufficient. Now we're going to click on our select move tool, and we're going to right click, and we're going to do the symmetric pattern, and here it is. So we keep going over the tools and the functions. Here we're going to, with the select move tool highlighted, we're going to draw that big rectangle over the pattern pieces, and right click copy and right click paste. And here we have our back pattern piece. As you know, we usually sort of place it in the front. We turn her like this, and we go to the back. We flip it horizontally by right clicking on it. Remember, both pattern pieces have to be selected, and we flip horizontally 3D. Now we can do our sewing, segment sewing. Okay. We can sew from the 2D window, the 3D window. A lot of these things, I do it over and over again, so get you used to by repeating, just repeating, so you get used to these tools and their functions. And you simulate. You simulate, you can also use the space bar to simulate. So here she has this top. We can use the select move tool, draw a rectangular box over both pattern pieces, the front and the back, double click in the center, and we can hover over one of these end points on the outline. And here at the side, when we drag this to your right, it's widening the bodice. So the width, we have more width. Remember, more width, but it's of equal measurements. Okay, it's not as though that one it's gonna be it's gonna be wider and one less. No, equal. If it's 5, it's 5. If it's 6, it's 6 on both sides. So then we simulate. So because it's wider, there is less clipping. It's like not going It's not like messing with the avatar's skin. It's not like, you don't see those holes. And here we simulate again. Well, we're not going to put any sleeve on this bodice because today we're going to do zippers and buttons. So for the zipper, you have to now go up to here. There's Home Assets Tools. You click on Assets, and then here you see Edit Text, Edit Graphic, Seat Tape, Buttonhole, Fasten Button, and the zipper. You click on that zipper, okay, because we want the zipper function. Now in the object browser here, you see it's written zipper and default zipper style. So default zipper, that's the zipper that's gonna give you when you click on this function. What we can do is we can go back because to add the zipper, remember this is all sewn, the front part. So, but before we do this, add the zipper, let's go back to the home part and we can go back to the edit sewing tool here. We click on it. And for the front, we want to right click on the sewing relationship. You see it's all highlighted. And we're going to just delete that sewing relationship. Okay? So that if you simulate, you see it's opened. It's the sewing relationship was removed. Because what we want to do now is just going to add a zip. So we're going to go back to the assets, click on the assets, and you click on the zipper. And in the 3D window, you see that there is this the arrow and the zipper icon that shows up. So what you want to do is you got to go from top to bottom, top to bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to click on this section here. I'll bring it a little closer. And then we just drag. You see where that point keeps going down. If sometimes you don't see it, it's okay. Just, stay in that area. And you double click. Now, when you double click, you see the line becomes gray. And that's the beginning of a sewing relationship. Now, you want to go to the other side and you want to do the same thing. Click once and you drag, always in that area. Double click again. And you see that a sewing relationship is developed. You see these lines, these are the threads, represent the threads, and you see the zipper pull, a zipper tape, the stopper, everything, it's been created. Now, what you want to do to fasten it, you need to simulate. Another important thing before you fasten it is that in the property editor, make sure fasten zipper is on. If it's not on, it's not going to be fastened. So that's a very important. Okay. Now, if you click to simulate, it's fastened. So it becomes fastened. So this is just the basics of I wanted to show you for the zipper. Okay, so here I've added one button and what we can do is before doing anything else, I'll just show you the basics of how you can button this button. Okay, so when you right click on this button here there are many options and one of them is duplicate as buttonhole to symmetric pattern. And this pattern is symmetric. So a very easy way to do it is to click on this, and a button hole, yes, shows up here on this side. And now everything's fine. Or you can go up to the buttonhole tool and create a buttonhole. So now we have the button and the buttonhole. We need to fasten the button. So to fasten the button, we click on Fasten Button. We click on Fasten Button, and here we click here in the middle and double click in the middle, and then we go here to the buttonhole. Okay, we click once and we go to here and we just double click on that dot here. Now, if you notice in the 3D window, the button switched places, okay, from right to left. Then the next thing you do is you simulate. And when you simulate, it fastens the button. Okay, let's take off simulation and push this down a bit. Push this up against this, and we okay. So here we have just adjust it a bit and we'll see. So here you have this that's buttoned. Another thing you can do is if you have any problems with layers, one staying on top of the other, in the property editor here, window here, you can also label the pattern pieces. For example, the fact that this has to stay on top of this, you can you select it, and here you can change this to 1. Okay, it's turned green only because it's this shows that it's the layer that stays on top. And something extra here is to, if you don't want to see this color and it confuses you, you can just take it off. When you click on color, show 3D colors, if we click on this, again, it's off. So it was turned off because it can confuse you. So there, this layer stays on top of this one. So it just makes things easier. So this is the way you fasten the button. Now, if we want to, we create a second button. So we can just go back to Assets, click on Button. We're dealing with the buttons. Right click, and we can copy, right click again, and paste. And here we can just simply attach another button. So there are many things to go over with this, but the buttons, for example, you can change the size, the color, many things, the thread width, okay, the texture, etc., etc. But here the objective is just learning how to fasten the button. So there again, we can right click, or we can just simply create a buttonhole. Okay, we can click on buttonhole here, and there in the property, in the object browser, default buttonhole comes up. And there we can just, here, you want to try to be precise with the exactly where you're putting it. So I'll say it's about, let's put it over here. Okay. And then we're going to, that's something else too that I have to go over, the distance between buttons and buttonholes, very important. And there you go, you fasten the button. So you click on this one here and you go over here. Okay, my computer, it's a bit slow today. You click again and you go over here and you double click. And there you see the button automatically goes onto the other side. And then what you do is you simulate. And there you have it. So here you have the second button fastened. This one, remember, it was set layer 1. So it's on it's the layer, pattern layer that goes on top of the other one. So for now, this is basic some basic, really basic knowledge about the buttons. Remember, there are many other things, but for now, we'll just leave it here. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.